Nice little unit. So we got the battery charged up. It should be at 12.6. I got it to like 11.6. But anyways, I wanted to show you something else that I learned inside this fuse block. So I was chasing wires, cleaned up these grounds. I took the terminals off themselves, cleaned everything up. I actually smushed this little piece back together so it would tighten it more, cleaned up these. So I'm in here and, checking all your fuses and everything. There's actually, underneath here is your master fuse. So, I mean, you could probably do this with it hooked up and test these. But, yeah, if somebody tells you gotta change this whole thing, you don't have to. Take the nuts off. What I like to do is I'll take a picture of it. So, I mean, they're slotted, so they should go back in the right one. But I just take a picture anyway. So take these off, pop the wires off. Obviously, make sure the battery's unhooked. But this nut right here, take this off, and then push this in, and this in, and this whole piece actually comes up. And then what's pretty cool is you can test it outside of the car. Like I said, you could probably do it inside the car, but yeah, you don't have to change the whole block. Pop this out. Sometimes, like if you try to jump start it, you end up crossing wires or something. You could pop one of these main fuses in here. So you take this out, and each one of these has an individual fuse, but they're all linked together. But you can still have power here and here and not here, but you could have it here. So anyways, you can take it out and you basically take the metal part of it and you can just touch it to the positive here on a battery, or another battery. And then you hook up your ground to your test light to the ground, and basically you'll just test each individual post, and if it lights up, it's good. All of them should light up, even this one that's not really used on this model anyway. Like I said, it's a 2014 Jeep Cherokee Latitude with the 2.4, not the V6. Probably works for the V6 too, but yeah, it's actually just a big old fuse. And what happens is one of them will burn out, but you gotta change the whole thing. You can get it at a dealer's, probably 60 bucks, 80 bucks, something like that. Or you can go to scrapyard and you just take all this off. Take this one off here, real simple. Push that in and push that one in. Pop this out. That wasn't my problem. But I came through and I cleaned up this ground and this ground. There's a handful of grounds. There's another one. Yeah, I'd have to take the wheel off again. You can see it from underneath. It goes from the frame rail to the transmission. Well, anyways, what it was doing was, as soon as I hooked the battery up, my four-ways came on. I was like, sweet, I got some power. But then it dimmed real fast and went out. I was like, what? Kind of smelled some like the battery was really hot. So I unhooked it, and all the fuses were good. So I come over here. You gotta take the, like I said, I've already done it, but you take the air box off, 2 screws here, and the other one here. Take the air box piece off. Come down here to the alternator. As you can see, I already got it unhooked. 13 mil, and I unhooked the power cord. Rehooked up the battery, and no longer smokes. We got power again. Like I said, I had none of this. None of it. And I mean, the guy that I bought it from, he did say that he was driving it, the battery light came on, a little bit later it died. And then he had it towed to a shop. He didn't want to pay the electric bill for finding it. I don't blame him, because it gets expensive. But another thing I learned on these, because I've never had one of these, this is actually my first one. I bought it for the wife, so I never really touched one of these things till today. So it was a lot of fun trying to load it, because apparently when it died, it also set the electric park brake. So I learned a little trick. I'll show you guys real quick. You come down here and you, now watch me break it because I'm trying to show you guys. Oh, pop this little cover off, right down, straight down, let me see, right there. What you'll do with the dead battery anyway, trying to get this thing into neutral, it won't go into neutral. You push, get a flathead and push down in there, and that'll allow you to actually take it out and put it in neutral. Now that was great and all, because it unlocked the front end, but the parking brake was locked up. Apparently that sets maybe when you put it in park or when the battery died. I'm not real sure. So I had a winch, or I had an old school come along style, trying to drag it up onto the trailer. And luckily for me, the garage that it was at, real nice people. The owner come out and offered to give me a hand because he seen I was struggling. I appreciate that. Shout out to Jay's garage. Great people. But anyways, he came out and very gently, I got the chain hooked up because so I got her off the trailer. Very gently scooped her up with the skid steer and he loaded it on the trailer for me. Otherwise I would have been there forever. And this is how I got it off. Chained her to the tree, you know, and then I just pulled the trailer out from under it. But yeah, I figured I'd give a couple pointers on the things I found on, like I said, it's 2014. That's how you can get it into neutral when the battery's dead. You pop that out, push that in, boom. It was a no crank, no start, dead battery. And I charged the battery up and I put the battery in. And at the time, it still had absolutely nothing. So like I said, I came through. These have like a squished style. Like this is rounded and it pushes inwards to tighten this. I took it all apart, cleaned this one. And I actually put this little washer thing in the vise. And I pinched it back in because there's a hole under here and the nut is beveled so it pushes it in, tightens it. And then I did the same with this one. This one ain't tight so you can kind of see it. Just hooks and slides over. Anyways, we can unhook that. But yeah, I cleaned up these two grounds. You gotta make sure that the ground underneath, it's on the driver's side. You can jack it up and actually see up underneath, or you can take the wheel off, the inner fender out, and it's right on the frame rail. Clean that ground up or replace it. It does like to break, and it goes from there to the side of the transmission. You know, another way to check if you got power but no start, you can actually like hook a ground up like here and find a good bare spot on your block and touch it to it, see if it starts. But yeah, so the alternator was the real problem. I don't have one right now, so I'm not going to be able to change it. That'll be in another video, but you know, maybe this will help somebody else. Like I said, it was a no crank, no start, dead battery, hooked up the new battery, and it drained it almost immediately. And you could smell the battery like cooking, you know. So go down here and 13 mil, unhook the positive on the alternator, and then you know, just replace the alternator, and it should be good to go. But there's a bunch more grounds on here. There's one straight down there on the passenger side. Oh, good, you can see that right there. You know, I still got to take that off and clean it up. I'm sure there's a couple other grounds. But yeah, these things, you got to make sure the grounds are hooked up good. But yeah, the wife's happy with it. Get her an alternator. I'll throw some brakes on it. A couple back tires. Probably need some struts in the back, but yeah, that's what I found so far on 2014 Jeep Cherokee Latitude. You know, like I said, the main fuse block there actually comes out. You don't have to change this whole thing. You know, if you guys knew that, but that'll actually come out. Make sure you clean up your terminals and all your grounds, and you know, if it's still draining that bad, it could be the starter too though, but mine actually wound up being the alternator. I unhooked it and it's no longer draining, so that's awesome. Hopefully the starter is good for another 100 years, because boy, in order to change that thing, you gotta either tear the whole top end of the motor apart, the intake off, get down in there and get to the starter, or you go underneath and drop the exhaust, pop the CV axle out, and it's a pain to do the starter on these things. But man, what a nice little rig. Yeah, maybe this will help you guys. You guys can give me some pointers. We're all ears over here at Schaefer Customs. Hey, thanks. Don't forget to subscribe, like, follow along. We got, plenty more videos to go. We got the Camaro still. We got, the truck. We got my 96 OBS low life out there. We got the 57. But it's almost winter time now, so we gotta get the winter vehicle going. So hey, y'all have a great day now.